They told us that we can start. Actually, it's a great pleasure to host this panel at Bright Festival here in Florence. We're in a marvelous setting, I would say.
Yes, we are.
We got the city stretching, and that's something definitely magic. But still, it's very relevant what is going to happen here this afternoon, because we got some folks that are really crucial in the music business. This man at my right side, he's maybe the most crucial of them all.
That's nice.
An extra talented artist, one of the founders of techno music. That's what it said in the books, and actually
I paid him to say this. I paid him.
And one of the smartest and most intelligent and interesting persons within the music business.
I have a little bit more cash. You want more?
Wait, later credit card. That's better. That's Derrick May, and thanks for joining us. And sitting next to him, we got PATRICIA. She's label manager for Transmat, and she's managing Derrick as well. I guess that's not an easy thing to do, but
No.
I'm sure you do it the best possible. Next to PATRICIA, we got FRANCONERI. He's one of the main booking agents here in Italy, and he's operating like within the European field of clubbing. So he's really a guy with expertise, a lot of expertise, and with a lot of musical taste, which counts as well.
Thanks.
And gonna be a little bit more local, but not that much. At my left side, we got NERI. He's one of the legends of Italian club culture.
Of course.
He runs Tenax Club.
I pay less anyway.
local cash.
Because I'm local.
To get the discount.
And still, he's one of those DJs and producers that you can talk with, a person that it's great to discuss with, because he's got so many interesting point of views of what's happening all around, and that's really valuable. Valuable as well is Antonio BOLDRINI. He is responsible for the Tenax Academy that Hunt setting us this panel. And Antonio is also booking agent. He's like booking agent for Tenax Club, correct me if I'm wrong. And plus, he's one of the guys that's like around since 15 years or so, something like that. So maybe even more. Okay, we're getting aged. That's true. But that means that we got so many things to say. Obviously, I would love to start with Derrick with the most banal question, and that's, what's the state of health at the moment of the so-called club culture? By the way, do you like the term club culture?
I'm okay with that. That's not a problem for me. But it's interesting that you mentioned that about club culture, because there's this, there's the EDM, like massive scene, and then there's the club culture scene, which can be more, I think you more or less have to call it the underground scene still. You can say club culture. We like to believe it's still underground, but dance music is no longer underground. As much as we want to believe it, it's everywhere. It's in the lifts and elevators. It's in taxi cabs. It's in department stores. It's in restaurants. It's everywhere now. It's a very unique moment to still believe in this underground thing, and club culture is moving faster than ever. And it's becoming very commercial, and it's really difficult to keep to remain this underground thing and still get the work and still get the support.
Why do we want to believe that is still underground?
Because it's romantic. It's very romantic, and I don't mean it in the sense of like a boy-girl romance. I mean it's romantic in the dream that the music is still very much the most important thing. But to a 16-year-old kid who's at an EDM, concert or party, he doesn't give a damn about underground music. He's just there with his friends. There's 20,000 of them all together, and they're losing their minds. And they're 16, 17 years old. Our job is to try and take them from that and bring them to this. That's the challenge. That's the, as we say in English, that's the Pepsi challenge.
Yeah.
To bring them back to the roots of the music and explain that it's important. But it's difficult because now we have the agents, that are pushing one way for the artists.
Surrounded by agents, by the way.
Yeah, we have agents that are pushing one way for the artists. We have clubs that are pushing another way for the artists, and then we have the social media that dictates the relevance, the importance of an artist, and even if it's not true, agents have to deal with it. Promoters have to deal with it. The numbers could be fake. They could be completely false, but they have to look at it. It's a fact that it means something. It shouldn't. Talent should be first. But it's a new world. It's a new world.
But to which extent should artists front this kind of environment? To which extent should they front their agents, the system?
Again, one more time, because I mean that question I think I answered, but I'm gonna ask me one more time that question, because I need to hear that one more time, because I think we talked about it, but say it again. I'll try to put it in another way. Should artists try to interfere with the work of their agents? Should they address Fuck yeah.
work?
They should get in the face of the agent and say, do your fucking job! You know? So that's what they should do. Of course, you know, I mean, Patty, she does a great job, so I would never say that to her. Anyway, yes, definitely, artists have to fight for the right to do certain events. They have to say, I want to play a small party. I don't need to get 25,000 euros or 15,000 euros to play the big festival. I'm okay with 3,000 or 4,000. But if you do this party, you know your reputation is going to suffer because they're going to talk to everybody that you did it for 3,000 or 5,000 or whatever. So it's difficult. It's a tricky moment. It's very tricky. A lot of guys want to play the underground party. A lot of guys want to do that. You know that. You guys know that. Some of your guys want to do that. But you have to be like, look, I'm okay with you doing it, but just realize this guy is probably going to go back and tell everybody that you did the party for cheap. You know, so you okay with that or not? It's going to definitely have an effect on your business. So it's become...
It's very borderline. I mean, choice is very borderline.
You were trapped in that kind of situation because at a certain point you were so famous, at least here in Italy, that you were almost diving into the commercial scene, let's put it like this. And I know it wasn't easy for you to handle this situation.
No, it wasn't.
What did you do?
As you said before, I mean, it's almost the same. It's always difficult to play music, the music you really like, to in front of 5,000 people. It's a reality. Nobody wants to say this, but it's really difficult because the club is a club. Okay, when you play in front of 400, 500 people, I mean, the culture, the mood, the vibe, everything is different. So you can play. You play for your friends. You play for girls, for men, for everything. I mean, it's another story. When you play for so many people, the people expect another story. So you have to play basically what they expect, what they want to listen. So I know this is what I'm saying is not cool for most of the DJ in the world, but this is what's happening finally. I mean, you cannot play the music you really love in front of 5,000 people. I mean, it's very difficult. I can't say we can't, but we have to be...
You have to compromise.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends about you, how much is the pressure about this compromise. This is the point. And of course, in terms of money, play for a small club, as I said before, it's more, it's cheaper, of course, because the small clubs can pay you, but they can play you so much money. But it's nice because you can play what you really feel. So, from the artist point of view, it's nice, to play in a small club. But finally, it's our job. We have family, we have kids. I have kids as well. So
right.
And even the agency and the managements, they're run by people that have families and whatever.
Exactly. So this compromise, is always there. For me, it was difficult, to be honest. So I prefer to find another strategy. And I start to play probably in my main time, my peak time. I start, to play in the small club.
And people were starting to tell that you were losing your edge.
Exactly. Also, I received a lot of...
But he wasn't losing his edge. It's just that this is the image that it gives to play a small club, which is not fair. Jazz musicians in the 1950s, the 1940s, the 60s, the clubs were small. But, I mean, Miles Davis,
exactly.
These guys played small venues. The audience was right there. And that's all they ever played.
Especially in the after hours.
Oh man, it was
They
amazing.
play for the friends in the after hour in the morning. You know?
You know, I wish I was around at that time, but I wouldn't be around now. But, you know, this was like the time of real music and when it was appreciated and people paid a premium. People paid money to be this close to Miles Davis. They paid the money to be there. They had their dinner. They had dinner and drinks and champagne, and they had Miles Davis in front of them,
Yeah.
and they paid premium money. Now it's another thing. It's 20,000 kids packed in a room, all wasted, all on drugs. Most of them, I hate to say it, you know, and totally not aware of any of the music. The guy could play music from the machine, the washing machine. How do you say washing machine in Italian?
Lavatrice.
Lavatrice. He could play the music from the and they would go, "Ah!" You know?
It's also social. You don't think the social media in general, you know, destroy the presence of the people? I mean,
Yeah, of course it does.
they don't live the time. That's my point. I mean, now
They
the
think
young
they
generation, they live the week before and the week after the show. You
Yeah.
know? So they don't care anymore about what's happening,
Current.
you know, the current. So this is another big difference from the past, because I remember in our club when we started house music, you are
Yeah.
guru,
Yeah.
okay? Most of the people came in our club because they can be themselves.
That's right.
They can express themselves.
Yeah. It was an art
Because it
thing.
was really underground.
It was an art thing. It was about art.
Exactly. And but this is the main difference for me, because before we were talking about underground. So how we can be underground with social media? For me, the underground is something not for everybody first, and
Something
not
that's really
everybody
hidden.
can see.
Yeah.
So how we can be underground if, you know, with the social media, everybody can see him play, me play, or
You know what I think is going to happen? I think there's a 14 or 13-year-old kid out there that is going to change everything. And maybe it's going to be the end of us. Possibly.
possibly, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But there's a kid out there that is going to change all of this. And it's going to go from here back down to here. And it's going to start again. But because right now, as I see it, dance music, this entire thing has gone as high as it can go. It's gotten embarrassing. We have all these people that call themselves DJs now, women, men, whoever, I don't care. Some of them are terrible. They don't deserve the they're terrible. I mean, people are using the synchronization on the CDJ. They just hit the button and, you know, some girl's got her titties in the air and there's some guy smoking weed and he's doing coke and drinking champagne and he's like this. What is that? What is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I'm sorry.
Ah, scusa, non avevo mica
What
visto.
is that?
Totally agree with you.
Alex and Patricia, how hard is to maintain the right balance between growing an artist's profile and allowing him to do the right things, the most authentic things?
From our side, I'm working with Derrick for 10 years now, and what I see that has changed, I mean, we have the usual requests, he plays a lot of clubs, festivals, but what we have really seen these days is really that promoters have a whole other approach. Is yes, we want Derrick, but let me know how many tickets did he sell last week? What was the percentage of videos? How many? And you go like, what?
Are
That's
you
not my
kidding?
job.
Yeah.
You know. So it has been. I mean, for Derrick, it's easy. But we still have 6 other artists that are really, I mean, also chosen by Derrick, where we have really problems to just try and make them play. Why? Because some of them just don't want to be on social media because they are in the studio. I have one, I told her you need to do stories. And she says, but Kelly, I'm an artist, I'm in the studio. When do I do that? And I said, well, and then of course she posts and she just can't do it.
Yeah,
because
sure.
she just wants to do music. She wants to go out and play, and she wants to. It's really a whole other mentality. And for us now with the club scene, it's that. How many tickets did he sell? Well, that's not my job. So this was for me the most difficult thing.
Most of the new promoters, Patty, are college boys that got business degrees. They don't know anything about music, but they know about money.
And they see that the money is flowing there.
That's right. And they take their business degree and they're going to turn it into being promoters. They don't know anything about DJs or music or history of music or.
This is another big difference, because
our partner, when we start, I'm talking about 87, 88, they start because they love the music,
Yeah.
not because they have money.
But you still see that in some clubs where you see that the owners are really music lovers, and you have still a couple where that's
Yeah.
it. They want him, they don't ask, they know. And what I feel a little bit is that some new promoters, they really don't care about the music. So they would not,
Sure.
like before, they would maybe listen to SoundCloud, what they have done. Now they are not interested. They are going on social media and they want to see, okay, what has he posted, how many people, and never listen to what we send as music.
It's also because the bills are enormous now, you know? They put on the party, they have this amazing budget, it's too much. They have all these DJs, they're paying too much money to everybody, and they are so scared that they're going to lose everything.
May I answer before to Damir answer question? It's I think at this moment the scene has two level that's underground that still exists. That's the scene that's Derrick speaking, and there's a business world that made of 5,000 club audience, big festival with 20,000 people, and it's generating money. And it's part also of the evolution of the general music, because now it's almost 30 years old, and every general music had this developed. Now this music is known to everyone. Everyone can have access to this music, and the average is necessarily going down. Is this the same reason? Because Alex says in front of 5,000 people you cannot play what you can really feel, because you cannot feel 5,000 people together. You can just bring them together and transmit an emotion to that amount of people. It's completely different than speaking to 500 persons. I think that exists and still going on. I think that's underground where DJs go and play for lower fee, and part of our job is also to preserve this part of the scene. That's actually, in my opinion, what make an artist cooler than another.
But do we have to save it because it's correct, it's right, it's poetic, or do we have to save it even because it's convenient to keep a sort of underground going?
It's poetic, it's convenient, but it's also part of the game. I mean, as I said before, if you want to speak about, if you want to transmit something to some people, you cannot tell that expression to 5,000 people. You need an audience of 500 people to play a certain kind of music, a certain kind of set. You will never be able to have the same response from 5,000 people than from 500 people. It's easier to connect with a smaller audience.
We've all done it. I mean, we do play the raves. What he's saying is, and you know the answer. Yes, you can play to a big party, no problem. And sometimes you just might have a great night, and you reach everybody. But it's a 70% chance that you reach everybody. And you would never know. The only way you know is if everybody. I played a party for the Kappa Festival.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. I know for a fact for about 5 minutes of that entire set, I had everybody in my hand. That feeling is powerful. You know when you have people, you know when you have it in your hand.
Yeah, you feel.
You feel it. It's like a ball of energy. It's just incredible. And you know when you don't. You feel lonely. You know, you're up there by yourself and you're sweating and goddamn, how much longer do I have to go? You know? So there are moments, Alex, as an artist, when you through the night, when you have the power, when you have touched everybody. But for a complete set, 2 or 3 hours, just tearing it up, and everybody's just like in love, no, it doesn't happen. Not for 5,000 people. Not unless you're Prince, you know. I mean, he's gone. He's not here anymore.
I think
He was unique.
A different way of expressing being a DJ now. You can talk to the club music lover, to the people that can feel it, and you have to entertain 5,000 people. It's also different perspective of it. You can be an entertainer or a performer or a musician or express itself through his music. So for me, it depends really on where he's playing the DJ, what he wants to do. I don't blame 30,000 venue for 30,000 people, or say that's not convenient to play for 500 people. It's a convenient play for a 500 people venue if they don't have any message in what they're doing. If they want just to book a big artist to have people pay at the door. If a club does an innovation in innovating a lineup and promote certain music, a certain feeling with the way they do. What's wrong on sending a big artist for lower fee? I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think the main question is the difference, because we're here to talking about DJ, right? I don't think we can talk about DJ today. That's the point. I mean, what is said before is because is an old school DJ, and I can say our mentality is to play music for make the people happy, basically.
Music first.
Music first, people dance first, then us, which is completely different than what is happening today. I mean, most of the DJ today say, okay, I play my music, but what does it mean? I mean, what does it mean, my music?
First.
The DJ play music. It's not my music. The DJ has to play for the people, basically. Then, of course, we have to compromise and play the music you feel. You know, you can do your best, but basically you're a DJ because you have to play for the people. That's the main difference. Today is not anymore like this. I mean, so my question is still right to call DJ?
It's a good question.
You know?
It's a good question.
So I have to also ask another thing. The people that's going to listen to DJ is going to listen to DJ for the same reason he was doing 20 years ago, or is different?
If it's different,
why
probably we need a different name.
16 years old guy going to dance now, what expected from the party? It's something that I'm asking because I'm trying to be connected with the millennials. I try to understand the way they think, because they are basically the future of the work we are doing.
Unfortunately, they are. I used to call them lap J's. You know, that's what I used to call them. Lap J's.
Lap J's, or yeah, it should be
Lap J's, you know?
Yes,
It's not a DJ, it's a lap J.
especially with him, because you know he's the one. When I see him for the first time, I was like kind of shocked, you know, with the turntable records, you know, every 2 minutes, blah, 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 mixing vinyl. And for me, this is the DJ, okay? Because the DJ is playing, I don't want to say only vinyl, but is play, mixing, good mixing, you know, and making a wave with the music. This is the DJ.
Tell a story.
This is, this is tell a story.
And it's a long story. It's not.
This is not what is happening, you know? What I'm hearing, and this is not what, that's why I'm asking you guys, because you're part of the job.
It's interesting because Francois Kevorkian, for instance, Francois is in a transition right now in his life. First of all, he's most amazing because he's 60 plus years old. He's been playing forever and he's still in the game.
Yeah, it's true.
But I'm watching somebody like Francois, right? He went from vinyl and he moved to technology. And I've watched this transition for him, and it has not been all completely pleasant. I wish that he would go back to playing physical records or something that was much more in touch with the audience, because his musical history is incredible.
I know.
Spending so much time with the technology, and I'm all about technology, but he spends so much time with it that the audience becomes like, it's almost like he's preoccupied with this monster technology, trying to entertain them, and he's forgetting about the music. And I love Francois, of course, but
yeah, me too. But I know what you mean.
Yeah,
exactly.
and
But this happened to me too, because I'm the one like to move forward. I don't like to go back.
Right.
So I like the progression.
Right.
So I remember once I played 1 year with the tractor, and I remember I completely forgot my passion with the music, for the music. I mean, I was playing like in front of the laptop, and I say,
It was like going to the office.
yeah, and I realized,
Checking your email.
yeah, exactly. I realized I was losing, you know, my passion for the music, for this. Then I forget about the laptop, and I start back with the vinyl and,
Right.
you know.
I
keys or
even
whatever.
think the USB stick is
USB is
fine.
fine,
It's
yeah.
fine as long as you are looking at the audience and you are getting some response and some feedback. Just pay attention. Don't just be in the screen locked in.
Yeah.
And you don't. And the audience, they also respond to everything you do. If you look like you're not having a good time, the audience is not going to have a good time.
That's true. That's right. This is
But
completely
do you have
right.
the impression that sometimes the audience is willing to see not the artist and his or her creative output, but a brand?
yes and no, but I still think that no matter how commercial it gets, people still want to believe that the guy playing the music is enjoying himself. I believe that, if you go to a restaurant and the chief is back there cooking and he's like screaming and hollering and there's spit coming out of his mouth and he's upset and he's cooking your parmigiana and say, take the food. Are you going to eat that? You're going to eat that carbonara? Huh? You're going to eat it, huh?
You're right.
You're going to eat it? You're going to eat that? I don't think so. You want to believe that the maestro is having a great time. It's going to make you have a great time. You're quiet over there in that corner.
My question is, for Antonio. Tenax Club is one of the really few clubs that managed to stay at the forefront for so many years. What about the secrets? What about the recipe for that kind of achievement that's really rare today?
Should ask, yeah. No, we're trying to stand high in front of this marketing and all this social media and newcomers asking for loads of money. When we got a DJ, we invite a DJ and it's coming for 1,000 euro, and the next year he's asking for 15.
No.
You say, okay.
See ya.
It's been great, but it's so far.
And there's so many. I think it's our responsibility to teach the new generation, to teach them what's good and what's not. So we still trying to say, even if it's easy money, because I know if I book some certain names today, I will get sold out easily. We don't care. We're not gonna get rich. We're not gonna get poor. We just love what we do, and we keep doing it for the best. And keep, I started 2003, 2004, supporting Tenax, and for me the brand was already huge. Was already something that has so it's also we work in the respect of the name Tenax, that we're trying to not do too many things, always mix newcomers with old cool stuff, even if we know that the selling, ticket selling is not, but we still love checking Discogs from an artist more than
the YouTube
Facebook,
views,
whatever social thing. So it's and it's everything has a familiar feeling. It's just like even bartender, even the security guy. It's people that's around for ages, and they're still there, and they still come with the same happiness of every Saturday night. They go to work and they go with this feeling. They were saying, if the chef is coming out of the kitchen,
because we have a good alcohol there.
We give we did trying to do our best, trying to do also with the Tenax Academy is something that is important, because we got a feeling that we have to teach our kids, and we have to teach them, and teaching them, we have classes for DJs, and classes for DJs starting with vinyl. So you start mixing vinyl. You have to understand how to mix vinyl. Then I teach you how to use USB, how to use whatever software.
You got to learn how to make the ragu. You learn how to make the ragu first.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Someone is complaining. Someone say but
the first issue is the tomato, man. No. Pasta with tomato. This is the real.
Start from the basics.
So you learn the basics, and then you can go to the technology.
Then you can go to the ragu.
I have a question for both of you. Now you grow up.
Both of you who?
Both of you. You grow up. You two, but you grow actually the four of you. You grow up in Italy in the age of Tony Carrasco, Decline MBO, all of this Italio disco that came to America.
I have records for you. I think we have there.
I want it.
We just did the compilation from the 80s. Now I show you.
I fucking want it.
We have the vinyl here.
So all this music that
I knew you mentioned this.
You grow up with this music. I grew up with this music. Farley, Jack Master Funk in Chicago, Chip E, all of us. We all from Detroit to Chicago. That music was huge for us. What was that music for you guys? What was that whole Klein and BO, the whole Italia disco thing? What did it mean to you? I never have known from an Italian person if it meant the same thing, because it could have been just like nothing for you.
No,
you know?
no. It's the roots.
It depends. It depends. For the average music lover, especially the way music lovers were thinking in the 80s, that was almost rubbish. It was plastic music.
Wow.
Commercial dance stuff. And dance music
It
was...
Alexander Robotnik?
I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average people. Remember?
I'm gonna listen.
Now, remember that in Italy, until mid-90s, electronic dance music was the enemy. Was music for stupid people, was music for fascists.
Right.
Alex can confirm that.
I got famous.
There was a
because
huge fight
I
about
was
that.
Coming, I don't
But what
come
is-
from
what is
electronic
the-
music or
but
dance music. My background is
To be honest, he's talking about before the 90s. He's talking about 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 80s I was too young.
So, which is, I mean, Tony Carrasco, all these people. I know. I started to be DJ at the time. So I
Doctor's
know
Cat, Feel the
exactly
Drive,
what-
all these
yeah.
classic records. Riz, Loving the
Martinelli
Music,
and-
Martinelli, all this great, you know,
wasn't easy to
Capricorn, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Great
man.
music. It's definitely great music.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy to play it in front of rock music lovers, which were the majority of the time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's
If you were into punk, if you were into new wave or stuff like that,
Answering your
dance music was
question.
rubbish.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a big problem.
That's true. That's true. The perception was rubbish. You're right. But it depends. Some of them was rubbish.
Hypnotic
some of them
Tango.
was cool.
There were
depend.
some great exceptions.
I mean, easygoing
yeah.
was
Fat Gadget,
Cool.
nice.
in a way. You know, it depend about some Italy disco now is the time of Italy disco in the world. I mean, everybody now is back in the underground.
But it's true that it
Everybody's
was
playing,
overlooked
you know.
here, completely overlooked.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, this music, Yellow Magic Orchestra, Kraftwerk, this was huge for us
Yeah.
in Detroit. I mean, because we were still like 17, 18 years old, man. And we were getting these records. We were like saving our money to drive to Chicago to go to the record store and buy those records.
That's the difference. That's the big. They don't need to anymore because you can buy everything. Now.
Right.
Yeah, but at that time here in Italy, that kind of music was just like, how can I say, too disposable.
Unbelievable. That was magic for us. And those are the records
My
that really.
experience. I discovered the music when I left Italy.
Yeah.
I moved there in Barcelona in 2004. I lived there for 8 years, and I get much more into electronic music and much deeper into the true value of electronic music when I was abroad. When I was living in Italy, I discovered electronic music. The last 2 years, I was here because I was coming from a background of rock music, of live music, and there was a fight between the people who
Huge
belong
fight.
to rock and the people who belong to house music. My image of house music was to fashion.
For us, the fact you said before, I mean, the mainstream was rock, India, whatever, was the fortune for the club.
Yeah. Because we were the new territory.
This is exactly what is happening now. I mean, that's why we've been talking about before,
Right.
because now the mainstream is this music compared to the time.
This is the music.
I mean,
what I was
the
saying
dance
before,
music
30
now
years
is
now
the and we part of the dance music, but you cannot fit with the ADM.
Yeah,
Give an
sure.
example,
No,
right?
different thing.
So,
EDM is closer to the rock and roll generation to me.
Yeah.
Because these kids, they don't
Exactly,
care. They don't care. They're just all there together.
They wanna scream.
They want to scream.
Exactly.
And you know, I don't have a problem with that.
Me too.
Because these are kids, and they should go
Amen.
ahead and get down with it, express themselves, and I hope that they can graduate onto something else. You know, that's okay. I mean, we were all kids once. We all listened to something that was ridiculous,
Yeah.
and we learned from it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you have to go
agree.
from level to level to get to the level.
I agree.
It's life. But you know what's interesting to me is that Milano was the center of the electronic music scene
Yeah.
of Italy. Most of you don't have any idea about that. It was Milano that was the center of this music. That's amazing. All these records were coming from Milan.
Yeah, Milan or Brescia, which is close to Milan. by
Yeah,
the way.
unbelievable. You know, I mean, and for us, Tony Carrasco was like my fucking hero.
Clement Bio, one track from Clement Bio.
Which one? Wonderful?
Is
or?
Lily Lewis. The French kiss is coming from.
Oh, completely there. Completely. I mean, there's so many classic
exactly
records.
there. I mean,
he knows it.
It was pop back then for us.
Unbelievable.
Cheesy.
Unbelievable.
Not even pop. Cheesy.
Unbelievable.
You know what? This record here, I was born in Siena, 1 hour away from Florence. I was driving with my friends to get to Contempo Records in Florence to buy the new Litfiba back then. There was
The major new wave band of the 80s.
And what is in this record compiled from Alex, this new wave scene in the 80s, that was it. Cool.
But this is an Italian problem. I mean, the Italian, we don't, probably, I don't think we believe in ourselves. We always think, the European do it better with the European and the States is better.
Greener over there.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a
Same for
cultural
in Detroit.
problem.
The same. In the beginning we started to sell. In the beginning we got laughed at. I mean, you have to understand when we made our first records. Well, before we made our first records, I sent a demo of Strings of Life to 20 or 30 different record companies, and every single one of them laughed at me. They didn't even respond. It was like joke.
This is typical with the record companies.
Joke. New Photo, Strings of Life, The Dance. I sent all of it to record companies. Nobody thought it was any good. And it was Juan Atkins that said, man, fuck them. Let's do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we just started putting out records and we just never stopped, And that was it. But it was amazing to me that I was disappointed because I thought I was really doing something special with this music, And not one record company paid attention. And it took 10 years to finally.
Can Image is one of the 10 track ever when we're talking about house music,
10 years to get this music out there.
Did you manage to talk with these guys 10 years later?
No, I don't want to. Fuck them. They're probably not even in the music business anymore. They're gone.
Yeah, that's the best answer. Well, let me be the devil's advocate. We've mentioned more than once the phrase we have to teach the new generation. It's not easy because we're 40 years old, 50 years old, whatever. And let's get back to the past. You're 20 years old and there's a 40 years old lad that tells you have to do these and these and these. That's not that nice.
I try, when I work with young people, I try my best to because when I used to work with Carl Craig and Stacy Pullen when they were young, when they came to me as 19, 18-year-old kids, I didn't put my foot down on their creativity, And I spent so much time with Carl that I lost myself. Because when you become a mentor, you say this in Italian?
Mentore, sì.
When you become that, it's difficult because you give everything, Your whole life is to this person. And with him and Stacy, I gave so much that you have nothing left. When they finally go on and they become great, you look back at yourself and you're like, but you're happy for them. So to take a young person and to create them, or to give them that chance, it's a lot of work, to ask of yourself. So sometimes you do find yourself saying yes and no, and instead of letting a person find themselves. It's not easy. Have you had the chance to take somebody like that yet, a young person, and bring them along?
Yes, but it's sometimes it's never going as you expect. But
That's
still, there's something that it's when I see them happy, it's already quite something. There was something else important that we trying to teach. I have a newcomer DJ, a girl that is sitting somewhere there, and she's like telling me I got this music, sending to label, they're not getting back to me. And another important thing that we should tell the young generation is print your own record. Do your own stuff. It's not just waiting 5 years to get a feedback from a stupid label. They not even reading, listening to your music.
Yeah, it went straight to the garbage.
Possible to print. It's not. impossible.
Yeah.
Do your own stuff.
Yeah.
Just save some money, make it
do it.
on your own.
Right.
Because like waiting for someone else that is you see shining, but there is just nothing, and you're waiting and lose
everything.
Exactly.
You lose the magic.
Something that is important. You can do whatever you really trust in. You do it on your own. Don't wait for other agencies or label to get back to you. This is how you made it. How he made it. It's like all of us. It's like when you feel it, just do it.
Well, we're dealing with a different world now, right? Everybody, I mean, it's so almost impossible to get new people into this business now. It's become so difficult. So I am really not happy about this. Fighting for young people is really still important to me, to open the door to give new talent a chance. Otherwise, we're just going in a big circle and nothing is changing.
And we're getting aged,
Yeah, I'm worried about
running
it.
through that circle.
That's why I say there's a 14-year-old kid that's going to come in and just blow everybody away. Because if we don't open the door to the creative process, it's going to fall down. It's really going to fall down.
Do you think that house music and techno music are a little bit stale now?
I think it's, I don't know if it's stale. I think what's happened is that we've reached a pinnacle where we have standards. And now everybody is reaching for just that standard. And it's a good standard, but that's where everybody is right now.
Yeah.
You know, but a new standard, we need new blood. We need new brains, new freshness. These guys are agents. And Patty can tell you, Alex can tell you as well, getting a young nobody a gig is almost impossible. It used to be where you could call up a promoter, or promoter would say to an artist, Derrick, who's new and fresh in Detroit? Who's the new guy? And you would bring him over. And they didn't care if nobody knew who he was because people were coming to the club.
It was even better.
It was even
There's a
better.
surprise for you.
That's right. But now,
This is also for me part of fault as well of promoters, how they took this job lately, because many promoters took this job like booking an artist to bring people, and the artists who just need to sell tickets, and we lose a little bit the concept of partying. Clubbing, what's clubbing now? What's club will be clubbing in the future? For me, clubbing in the future will be more and more this. Bring back the party, bring back the people that want to listen to something special. When I was a kid and living in Perugia, it was famous for Reggiano, another time that we missed a couple of years ago. People were going there to dance for the club, for the special music they were listening. They didn't know it was playing Frankie or Luis or Derrick.
they went with their friends, have a good time.
They were discovering the music in the club, but also the meaning of the club was different because now we have radio, we have Spotify, we have SoundCloud.
You can access
we have
everything
access to everything.
instantly.
What's for me it's missing from the club is the clubbing. It's being part of
We also lose
family,
the.
listen this because this is a part important. But for me, we're missing for the new generation. The new generation need an experience going in a club. And what is the experience we are proposing them? How we are selling the events? I've been working in clubs as well. I've been booking agents in clubs. I was fighting a lot with the PR, so-called PR. They just post an event on Facebook and say, call me this number for pre-sales. Fuck, are you selling mattress? Are you selling washing machine? No, are you selling an experience? We are selling an artist. We are selling someone that giving you something. What are you selling there? You are selling a product. So
Problem is
yeah,
that-
and we find we are.
But we lost the resident
Also
DJ,
for the way
man.
we are communicating. When we speak about stories to be put by DJs or things that are in studio and that cannot make a story, it's even wrong because the story, the Instagram can be used as a media. If you communicate something that's positive, you interact with the media that the new generation are using. We are missing the connection with the new generation. That's one of the problems we're facing now.
Part of this connection was made from the resident DJ,
We made a lot
which
of
was very important, you know, to make
is
this
true.
connection.
This is true, Alex. This is very
Because the
true.
resident DJ make the party, you know. I mean, the basement of the party.
He make the cake.
He make the cake. Then
Yeah.
Derrick May
Come in and
can
icing.
play because
That's right.
the resident DJ prepared the party.
Absolutely.
This is one big mistake, I
Yeah.
think. But this is happening why? Because the younger generation say, okay, this week I'm going to see this DJ. And then when I hear this, I say, okay, you go to see this DJ or to listen?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to hear or see? Where's the point? So this is the real changing. I mean, so if I'm a resident, I can't play every week in my club because the people get bored to see me.
Yeah.
So this is a big point,
But it's what I'm saying, because we are selling the artist and not the party.
Exactly. But it's
what's
the way
the
you
party
sell
now?
the artist,
What's the
guys.
party now?
It's the way you sell. You sell the music or the face?
I prefer to go to a festival and listen 40 DJs say each days for 1 hour and now Saturday and stay 5 hours in a club. Because the club is not anymore a club. It's a venue space. It's an event space anymore. There's not a family to meet there.
Well, it took a lot, Alex.
That drink that you drink just there. There's not a place where you listen the track that you listen just there. You play at the moment. I remember that moment when I was a clubber before being part of the business. This is completely missing in club.
Yeah, but it took a lot for it to get here. You got to go back to rave culture. It was like it was a slow graduation to this level. It was the destruction of the music industry. It fell down. It was the beginning of the download. It was a company called Apple that's not even a record company that changed the way we listen to music. Mac is not even a fucking record company. It's a computer company. And they control the music industry. How's that possible? It's a fucking computer company.
It's true.
And
true.
they control the music industry. That's why it's all fucked up.
And slowly they control also the cars and
Yes.
everything.
That's why it's
The
fucked up,
art.
Alex.
Also, the information is controlled by social media, not
It changed, yeah. The people running the show don't run the show anymore. So the format, the idea, the concept, the philosophy,
That's right.
all got pushed off the table.
That's completely right. I totally agree with you.
there's still
Totally
room
agree
to
with
bring
you.
it back, to bring all these back.
I don't know.
Play
Maybe.
the game. If you give room to them on a bad way and we don't play on the same table, we'll fuck it up.
Well,
I want to say, let's try to figure out the strategy to hide ourselves, to bring back the underground, but teaching the people that want to listen to things. The vibe that I was feeling when I was in the club, I think that any kids now want to feel. You just don't know how.
Sure, I agree.
Don't have the right address to get there because
It's a good point. We have to
surrounded,
teach them,
too
but
many information, and we are missing in the part of information. If you are not on the line of communication with them, you will never bring your message to them.
I think it's important that we want to say one thing. We're not like sitting here moaning and complaining and angry about the music industry. We're talking about ways to try to be constructive and make it better.
And we're still operating.
Yeah, and this is important because some people watching this may think, oh man, these guys are old and they're just sitting here complaining, talking shit. Fuck them, man. No,
I'm
no.
having fun every weekend.
So anyway, we're just trying to be constructive and come up with
You're right.
solutions.
But for example, I
You're
agree
right.
with Alex that before when we were going to club, I come from Zurich and we have an amazing club there. Now the scene also, there are a lot of clubs opening, so it's also difficult maybe to have this family or this, but I would used to go to the Zukunft, I would not even look who is the DJ, but I know this person is going to be there, we didn't even use the phones, we knew.
The Tunkampf is a
Thursday.
nightclub in Switzerland.
Yeah, in Zurich. So we knew we will go there, and the 5 owners, they also in the music business. So they would just bring friends and everything, and we knew Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it would be full and we would have fun. Now what happens, if we go, sometimes you talk with people and say, oh, I'm going to stay 2 hours here, then I'm going there, and this is also, I think, an interruption. You don't have this family thing. It's just going from one place to the other in one night. While we were really listening to a whole story from 12 to 4, 5 in the morning.
I have a solution.
come on.
I think we should call John Wick. John Wick can deal with this shit. he will kill every single promoter, and we can start fresh. If you don't know who John Wick is, you figure it out. You know who John Wick is? John Wick? Yeah, check him out. John can handle this. Okay?
Well, I think that's the perfect conclusion of this panel. We got the solution. That's great. Once
John
again,
Wick.
Derrick has come with the solution. He's the man. Well, thanks Alex. Thanks Patricia. Thanks Derrick.
Ciao, grazie.
Ciao, ciao.
Ci vediamo
Grazie
dopo.
Antonio. Grazie a Bright Festival.